Welcome to In the Pocket with Rich. Each week we get former Raiders quarterback and current CBS Sports analyst Rich Gannon to break down the Raiders with us. Rich, thank you so much for joining us today.
Erin, it is so good to be with you, especially after a Raider win on the road in week one.
I cannot wait to talk to you about it because you had a front row ticket to yesterday's game. You called it against the Panthers for the TV broadcast with CBS. First victory as the brand new Las Vegas Raiders. How big was that win for this Raiders team?
I don't care that there were no fans in the stands. It's still tough in the NFL to go on the road and win. That was a well-coached team. They played in the Carolina Panthers, a well-conditioned team that played hard, and they were very physical, and it wasn't easy. But I give John Gruden and the staff a lot of credit. It's been a very difficult offseason for everybody. No OTAs, no mini camps, all the challenges during training camp. And to get the young players ready and to have them make an impact, guys like Henry Ruggs to step up and play in that game without a single rep in a preseason game was very impressive.
Impressive indeed. A single rep in the preseason, a limited camp, certainly. And we've got to talk about the depth on the offensive line. First, Trent Brown goes down, okay? But then his backup in Sam Young with a groin injury. Were you thinking at any point during the game, wow, this team might actually be in serious trouble?
Thought they might have to move Jason Witten to the right tackle position. It was that dire, but I think it speaks to the volume, the job that Mike Mayock has done as a general manager and the coaching staff. I think Tom Cable, the offensive line coach, deserves a lot of credit for getting those guys ready. I was really impressed with the job that Derek Carr did yesterday, managing the game, managing situational football, dealing with some young players around him, playing for the first time. And really the way he controlled the game at the line of scrimmage, that to me was the most impressive. He made a lot of checks, a lot of calls, getting in and out of the right runs, not wasting plays. I thought it was one of his finer performances at the line of scrimmage, just the way he was able to control that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Under all of those circumstances, no sacks, no turnovers. You even heard a Cindy audible call thanks to John Gruden's wife. But no doubt, great blocking up front. Of course, the beneficiary of that was number 28. What did you think of what Josh Jacobs was able to do in terms of his overall performance yesterday?
Well, he's a special player. I think he's going to continue to build on what he did as a rookie, rushing for 1,150 yards despite missing 3 games. I think the fact that they have continuity, all 5 starters return up front. That's important, and that's a good offensive line. They've got a lot of money invested in that group. They're big, they're strong, they're physical. They can come off the line of scrimmage, and it's the perfect group for a guy like Josh Jacobs. He's a determined runner. He's not an easy tackle. He's a finisher. The game's important to him. He loves competing. And I just think he's going to be better in year 2. And I think the area he's going to be better, not necessarily running the football, because I think he's a dynamic runner. I think he's going to get even more involved in the passing game. It'll be a great outlet for Derek. I talked to Josh at great length on Saturday about that. He's watched a lot of players like Marshall Faulk and other backs who've been very dynamic at coming out of the backfield. And to be a complete back, you have to be able to be a 3-down back. And I think Josh Jacobs will see more of that this season with the Raiders.
I like that, Rich. And you talk about Jacobs being a finisher. How about the rookie, Henry Ruggs, making his NFL debut? He didn't see the end zone. He left in the middle of the game with what appeared to be a knee injury. I think we all did a collective sigh of relief when we saw him come back. But certainly he helped take that Raiders offense to the next level. As a former quarterback, what stood out to you in terms of Ruggs' versatility?
Well, I think the fact that they were able to move him around, I spoke to John Gruden at great length on Saturday about the volume. I was concerned maybe this was going to be a condensed game plan because you're starting 2 rookie receivers in Edwards and Ruggs. And John said, nope, they can handle it all. We're going to have everything in, and these guys are smart guys. They've bought in. They're low-maintenance players. In other words, they'll just practice, they'll play hurt, they'll do all the little things it takes to be competitive and make an impact on game days. And I was so impressed with what I saw from Ruggs. There's a lot of fast guys in the NFL, and then there's ridiculously fast. I mean, a 4.29 at the 40. This is an Al Davis type of player. He's got what I would call rare and unusual straight line speed. If you go back and really watch his 40 at the combine, it was effortless. It didn't even look like he was running. It looked like he was jogging, and yet he was picking up a lot of ground in a short period of time. He's going to be hard to handle. He is a legitimate deep threat. The Raiders really struggled last year pushing the ball down the field and throwing the ball vertically, despite having a quarterback like Derek Carr, who's got a very strong arm. So I'm excited to see what this kid can do. I think he's going to have a huge, huge season for the Raiders.
I think you're absolutely right about that, because Gruden even said in his press conference he wants to get Ruggs involved in the offense early and often, and you saw that happen on Sunday. But I cannot let you go, Mr. Gannon, without getting your take on how the game ended. That huge fourth down stop with less than 2 minutes to go, 4th and inches, and the Raiders were able to shut it down. What's your take on that?
Well, it was big. You know, they had some struggles. I know that when you go back and watch the tape, I think Paul Guenther's going to be disappointed. They gave up some big plays. They gave up too many points on the road. I thought they did a pretty good job with Christian McCaffrey, but overall, it wasn't one of their better performances, and yet they still found a way to get it done at the end when it mattered the most. And I think this can be a big confidence booster for this defense, you know, that they were able to stay on the field and finish the game and get a stop on 4th down. Still surprised that the play caller, Joe Brady, for the Carolina Panthers, didn't give the ball on 4th and less than 1 to Christian McCaffrey. Instead, he gave it to the fullback. But I think the Raiders were ready for either. But that was a huge stop and something I think the Raiders defense can build on as they head into week 2.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll need to build on that, of course, as they take on the Saints. The guy's name was Alex Arma. We were all a little surprised C-Mac didn't get the ball on that 4th and 1 situation. But, Rich, we certainly appreciate you joining us here on In the Pocket with Rich. We're going to see you next week to break down Monday Night Football, that matchup against the Saints. Thanks so much, Rich.
Thanks, Erin.